Hey guys, so the iPhone X Plus has arrived early. Just kidding, it's the new Vivo V9, the selfie-centric phone with the perfect shot and the perfect view. Let's see what this phone offers. Alright, let's get rid of the plastic. And lifting the box up. First we got the silicone case plus some paperwork. And then we got the phone itself. We're gonna put this on the side and take a look at the remaining accessories. So we got the charger, the headphones, and a USB cable, which is surprisingly not Type-C. And that's about it. Let's boot the phone up. And while it's booting, we're gonna remove the plastic, okay? There we go. And we're done with the setup, so let's see what this phone has to offer. Alright, so let's start off with the build quality and design. So it's your typical Chinese build. I mean, we got that traditional full metal body everywhere. It's definitely not as premium as other gloss phones such as iPhone X or Galaxy S9, but still the metal has that durability edge over the gloss phone. We have a fingerprint scanner on the back with Vivo logo and a dual camera in vertical orientation, which is of course inspired from Apple. But still, they didn't copy everything from Apple. I mean, even Vivo knows that removing headphone jack is a serious crime in the tech world. So we still got our headphone jack, which is awesome. There's a fingerprint scanner on the back, which is incredibly fast. Like, I love these Chinese phones and their fingerprint scanners because as soon as you put your finger, it unlocks instantly. We also get a facial scanner up front, which is obviously a 2D scanner, so nothing really fancy about that. You're better off using the fingerprint scanner for security purposes and also convenience. Now let's talk about the main attraction of this phone, which is its display. So it's a 6.3-inch display with a 1080p HD resolution. It's an IPS technology and it's having a notch, which is much smaller than the iPhone X's notch. So this is clearly inspired from Apple, and personally, I don't mind the notch too much. I mean, I've been using the iPhone X ever since it came out, so I'm kind of used to it, so it's not going to be an issue. In normal day-to-day usage, the notch is not even noticeable. I mean, it only gets noticed when you're watching a YouTube video, so I still prefer a traditional infinity design approach for this bezel-less technology, but I'm fine with the notch as long as it doesn't have the chin. The problem with these Chinese makers is that they have the chin, whereas Apple has implemented a curved display that allows it to go full seamless, giving it a full bezel-less look, which these companies cannot do since it's really costly. So yeah, the chin is there and you just gotta accept it. With that being said, still a lot of people love the notch implementation on a phone, and I gotta say, I mean, to some extent, this phone looks pretty futuristic. Overall, it's a decent display with decent colors, and I think it's pretty okay with this price range. Now under the hood, we have a Snapdragon 626 processor, and it's not the most powerful processor out there, but it definitely gets the job done. It has a decent benchmark score, and you guys know that I don't really believe in benchmark scores. I will be doing my own personal speed test really soon. It should be able to handle the games that we have currently on the phones, and because it's a mid-range processor, you should be able to get a really good battery life out of it as well. Now let's talk about the software on this thing, which is pretty much like an iOS copy. Everywhere from the menus to the settings and the camera UI, which is like a pure iOS look. Like, everything is similar. Software UI is called as FunTouch OS, and it is so similar to iOS that they had to mention that it is based on Android. Like, we all know that Apple is the only company that make iOS phones or iPhones with iOS software, whereas all the other phones, they run Android, but still they had to mention because of how much the similarity is with iOS. But with that being said, it still has Android underneath, so it has a full navigation gesture system like the iPhone X, so you can disable the navbar keys to enable a full gesture-based software experience. So very similar to iPhone X, you have the middle one as the home key. This one acts as the control center, and swiping from the right is like a back key. So you can go back from your application or from a menu by just swiping from the right. To access the multitasking tray, you have to swipe and pause, and here we have all our opened up applications, and you can see it is also very similar to the iOS. You can swipe up to close applications or close all of them at once by pressing the close all button, and also shows you the RAM information. Control Center gives you a lot of controls, such as a quick button called as Speed Up, which automatically closes everything in the background. Then we have S Capture, which is like an advanced way of taking screenshot. You can take a simple screenshot or a long screenshot or a funny funny screenshot, which allows you to crop a certain area of the display and take a screenshot. You can also record the screen of your phone, which is also pretty cool. There's a night mode, which is called as eye protection. There's a low power mode, as well as a super saver mode, which basically disables everything and gives you very limited options to play with, so you can just call or message. Now, one feature that I've liked is the ability to do the multiple task or split screen multitasking instantly by pressing this key. So if you have an application that supports, such as YouTube, it will go in that split screen mode. At the same time, you can open other applications such as Messages or Calculator or any other app that supports. Overall, it is an iOS copy, it is an iOS ripoff, no doubt about that, but it does have its own feature. And again, it is Android. If you're serious about this, you can definitely have like a launcher on it. Now let's talk about the camera. So we have a 16 megapixel plus 5 megapixel dual camera combination on the back with f2.0 aperture. It should be able to take some great photos in good lighting conditions, but in low light, it just doesn't perform well. It can shoot up to 4K, but in low light condition, it's not gonna be that good, and it starts to lose a lot of frame rate. So as for the front camera, we have a 24 megapixel sensor, which actually takes some good selfies, much better than the Galaxy S9. It captures some nice detail, and it's a selfie centric phone, so they have definitely made the front camera really good. It has a decent front camera portrait mode as well. Again, not as good as phones like Pixel or even the iPhone X, but overall, it is a decent front camera. Now, one of the strong points of this Vivo phone is its battery. It's coming with a 3260 mAh cell. And thanks to its efficient Snapdragon 626 processor, it conserves a lot of battery juice. So it should be able to give you a 1 day of usage without any problem. The only bad thing that I face is that it doesn't actually support fast charging, and it doesn't have the Type-C connector. So that's a bummer. But overall, Vivo V9 is a phone that is for the Apple lovers who can't afford to buy the iPhone X. I mean, the iPhone X is still a pretty expensive phone in areas where this phone is not officially launched. So, for example, in Pakistan, the iPhone X is still well above $1,000. So it's really hard to afford it, and a lot of people love the notch design. So if you want that, you don't have to pay $1,000. You can buy the Vivo phone. It copies Apple perfectly. It has a really iOS-like software. There's a notch up front, which is actually smaller than the iPhone X's notch. So again, this is a phone great for those who like Apple, but they can't afford to buy Apple. So yeah, that was the full look at the Vivo V9 phone. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And again, I will be doing a speed test against the iPhone X tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.